over. Just throw out. All right.
Okay, all right.
Pick it up. It's all right. Slow start.
Okay. Please stop it. Yeah, come on, finish it. Finish it. Yep. Way down. Nice move. Good eye.
Top the ball?
Yeah.
Easy, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, hard. What?
Make it easy. Once here. Well, no, I know that. Yeah, let it curl. Let it curl. Step it back a little bit. Let it curl as much as you can. Just look up foot. See line. Perfect.
8-footer.
Yep. Pat. Oh. Control. Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Easy.
Okay, we're welcome back to the Cherry Blossom Bonspiel here at the Potomac Curling Club. Draw 8 is just getting underway. And this is another second round match in the main event. And we have Nichols against Roberts. And Team Nichols are throwing the red stones. And Team Roberts are throwing the yellow stones. And yellow has the hammer in his first end.
Give me normal weight. And roll over here.
So calling for the hit and roll here.
Yes. Yes.
And that's a lovely shot there.
Yes. All the way. All the way.
So yellow's still allowing a shot stone at the moment. Very buried behind those two reds and the center guard that's around about the 2 position. And stone is on its way. Sweeper's on this one quite early. And this is curling quite a lot. Not sure they're going to make it past the guard here. And they're just going to bump that guard and split them. So we have a guard on either side of the center line now. So it's going to be the draw for Team Nichols, excuse me. This is Howard Griffin, the vice, throwing the first of his, oh, excuse me, beg your pardon.
Draw, pretty heavy out here.
that's a nice draw there for Team Roberts. We've got second stone there, now lying 1 and 2. So just a draw here called for Team Nichols. That's just going to chip off their existing stone there, and they now got a bit of a clutter of stones here in the front of the house, but yellow is still lying 2 buried. So at some point, they're going to have to think about trying to move some of these around. Yellow with hammer, of course, in this first end, so and here is the first vice stone for Team Roberts.
Yeah, anyway.
They are going to bounce off the reds and spill into the open, the left side of the house there. Just spreading those reds apart a little bit, not changing the situation a huge amount. Here's a second vice stone for Team Nichols, and this one's being played with a lot of weight. The sweepers are running after it, trying to catch it, but that is not going to be the intended result. You're going to remove a guard from play, and the shooter will hang around at the far side of the sheet. And now Team Roberts are going to guard up, protect their 2 stones they have in the house. This is looking to be nice guards. A little bit high, maybe. Not quite reaching the 2 position. So there's some room to come behind that. So a bit of discussion going on here as we wait for the first of the skip stones here for Team Nichols. And the center is fairly well guarded. There's those split guards in the guard zone. Maybe a port through the middle there, but it's not a large port. And I think they're going to be trying to shift something around here. We are going to try and get you some updated team information after this end.
Hold on, Jim.
And Stone's on his way, and it is played with some weight. Sweepers right off this. It's going to promote the guard there. That's not going to change the situation in their favor. First of the skip stones for Team Roberts. And they're looking to replace this guard here that was healed at the previous shot. So yellow's still lying 2 here. Super's on this one early.
Let it go, let it go.
So they're trying to do a raise on their red just to knock it into the forefoot. And they will knock it, and it will go into the forefoot. Not sure whether it's shot stone. Looks like it's not shot stone, so yellow still has the shot stone, and red lying second. So yellow trying to decide how they can score 2 here. Already lying 1, and this is hammer. And I don't see an obvious way to get to the button and get their second. And there is danger here. If they catch things slightly wrong, they could knock their own shot stone. Just scratch on that guard there, and so it will remain 1 for yellow at the end of the first end. And we'll be right back with the second end.
Nice shot, Annie.
And we're in the second end here, and we're working on some updated team information for you here. We had a few problems with our team lineups in this draw. We will update them for you as soon as we can. And they're trying to draw this one into the house, but it's just going to maybe just get a biter there. They're not sure.
Yeah, that's that. Because the other one's Howard. Yeah, the Balder guy, the tall ball guy, that's Howard.
So the vice that's higher than Nichols. I'm guessing that's, I don't know if that's his.
Yeah.
I think that's what last week.
Yeah.
Here's what I have. I make
So they're going for the
no guarantees.
draw here. And Sweeper's on this one very hard, maybe a little light. And it is looking light. And that is going to pull up right about the 2 zone as a guard.
You want to fill it out? If you know who it is.
This is,
Give it a second. Let's hold it slow.
Now the takeout called on this yellow that's sitting in the house. Probably hoping for a little bit of a roll if they can get it.
I'll just write in.
And they will take the stone out, but they will roll a little bit too far, and they will roll out of the house themselves. And so
Not the best contraption, but it works.
So just a draw here. And the line's looking quite good on this one, if they've got the weight. They're just trying to finish it here to bury behind their guard, and they will bring it to the forefoot, and that is a nice shot there.
You update the wall schedule, things like that.
And you can see about half of that rock, so it is available to be hit if they choose to do so.
No problem.
And it looks like that is what's being asked. Sweepers are right off this one. Needs to curl. And it is starting to move now. And they will take that rock. And they will hit the yellow out of play. And that was a good shot. They get the roll behind cover as well. That's a lovely hit and roll there. So another yellow rock has been placed just back of the button, but they are calling the same shot that they just played a minute ago to have the hit and roll takeout. Sweepers on this one straight away though, maybe slightly tight of the line. This is starting to curl across the center line very quickly. I think they're going to catch their yellow guards, and they will. That's not the result they're looking for. Are going to call for a center guard here to just protect that yellow stone. That's a nice looking delivery. Possibly going to over curl here. Needs to sit down a little bit. And that has over curled a little bit, so part of the stone in the house is exposed. So the same hit is available, the hit and roll, and that is the call. This looks like it's on a better line. Sweepers on and off here, that's usually a good sign. But they will tap the guard. It looks like they will call to replace that guard again. Yellow not with the hammer in this end, so looking to steal. This one's looking a little wide out of the hand. And it's looking a little light as well. Well, they've got good weight, just needs to curl up at the end here. And that's a pretty good guard. They partially buried their stone. The other side is now available for a hit. And that is what they're going to attempt here. So the first of the skip stones coming up here. for Anne Drummy, who is the skip here. That's got a curl, this one. Started a bit wide, I think. Starting to move. And they will squeak by the red stone and tap the yellow out. They'll lose their shooter, but that's a good takeout there for Anne Drummy. So that only leaves red stones in the house now. So yeah, with their final stone, have to do something to shrink the target here a little bit.
So it doesn't appear that she's actually playing with Gabrielle. Oh, she's filling in on it. She was like listed as playing with Brianna Cobb, Gabrielle.
And we should have a update the team information for you on the scoreboard now.
That's so fucking annoying. 'Cause,
So the last stone for the skip here. Not with the hammer. So they have to do something here to make it difficult for Anne Drummy to get her two. In fact, it's possible that one of the red stones at the front of the house is biting, so they may already be lying more than one. This looks like it may tap one of those red stones. Will they just squeak through the gap? Yes, they will. And they will draw it into the house. Just touching the forefoot, but it is exposed. And will be a takeout call here to remove that stone and lie at least two. Sweeper's called off here. Just to curl past the redstone. And it is hanging out there. But it will just squeak by. And that's a good takeout. The shooter will disappear. And it's at least one red, and they're checking to see whether any of the others are biting on the circle here. Looks close. And we will get the score for you there in just a moment as we move into the third end. So the first stone in this third end being delivered, and they have called for guard. Center line guard. This one hanging out wide a little bit. And we can tell you that it was 3 to red in that end, so both of those reds at the front of the house were biting. So a score of 3 in the second end there. Second of the lead stones here for Team Drummy. Needs to curl a bit. And that is going to be a nice center line guard there. A little bit on the high side, and it's just a little off the center line, so not quite what they were looking for. Their redstone in the house is exposed. And they are going to go for the hit and roll here for Team Schultz. From the ice, it doesn't look like they're looking for too much weight here, just maybe a tap and roll. They're sweeping this one hard. They are going to tap the red back. And they will roll behind the guard and leave the red exposed. And so a guard is called for Team Drummy to cover up that red, which is shot stone. Howard Griffin here playing second. That's a good shot, covering most of the stone in the house there. Just maybe a third of that stone showing. Just clip that redstone, but they didn't catch enough of it to take it out, so that's not quite the result that they were looking for. And that red will be shot stone at the moment. So Ann Drummy there calling for a guard or just a biter there. Almost a repeat of the previous shot for Howard. Sweeper's right off this one at the moment. It looks like they're going to bring it all the way into the house here. Just a little bit more weight. But that's going to end up as a nice draw to the 8 foot. And it is covered.
Yep, to the house.
They're looking to hit this red again, but it needs to curl a long way. And it's not going to get there, so that will sail through the house. So Team Drummy lying 2 here at the moment, with them pretty well guarded and without the hammer here, so they're in good position and just looking to throw another guard here to fully cover up both of those reds and put the pressure on Team Schultz. This is the first of the Vice Stones here. like a nice weight so far. Might be over curling slightly, and it is over curling. And I don't know if that will have covered their shot stone. Well, they are going to go for the freeze here to that back red. Looks like it is covered. But there is room around here to draw. Sweepers on this one hard. It's looking a little bit light at the moment. And it is going to curl into those guards and add to the collection of stones gathering out front here, and that plays into the hands of Team Drummy, really, not Team Schultz. And Team Drummy is just going to throw another guard, try and repeat their previous shot, try and keep it slightly wider this time. And this one is looking a bit wider. That's a good shot there. Really blocking the path into the house on that side.
Yes now. A lot of weight he's throwing.
So some weight being called for here, and that was thrown with a pretty big weight.
Yep, all the way through.
It looks like they're going for the run back here. All right. That doesn't quite give them the result they were looking for. In fact, it just covered up the two reds even more. But it does open up the center line a little bit for them for a final draw. And so the first of the skip stones is coming up here. And it looks like they're going to just put one in the top of the 8 foot there. They're going to try and put one top of the 12 foot just to block the way into the house. Red line 2, of course. Without the hammer, so want to block the way in.
Forward. Normal takeout. Normal.
Sweeper's going quite hard on this one. It is curling quite fast. We've seen earlier today this sheet is swinging quite a lot, and they're going to just brush off the yellow there. And the way to the house is still open. Just over curled on that draw there. And so Team Schultz will try to draw down to the 4 foot. draw is on its way. Sweeper's called off here. It's got plenty of weight, needs to sit down. And it is going to be swept to the back of the house, or is going to go all the way out the back, and that is a missed opportunity there. And that gives Team Drumming the chance to attempt the same shot again and really block things up here. Sitting 2. So Andromeda just drawing down there, trying to repeat her previous shot, keep it a little wider this time. And that's looking like a good shot. And that is just going to pull up, and that's a really good position there. That's a good shot, and that really makes life difficult for Team Schultz here. Lying 2 against with the hammer. A lot of material out front here. Not a lot of room there to make a draw. And they may be looking at the raise here with their yellow that's sitting outside the house, but difficult shot. Well, we will see what the call is. I'm not sure there's enough room there to make a draw in that port. And the stone is on its way. And this is hammer. And it looks like it is. They attempted the draw here. Sweeper's on this one. But they're not going to get through the port there. And so that will be a steal of 2 for Team Drumming there, and that end really went their way from an early point. And we will be right back with the 4th end.
Line's okay now. All right, Jim. Yeah.
All right, so Team Schultz keeps the hammer here. And so Team Drumming will try and play center guard. This one's going to stay a little bit high. Just about reaching the 2 position there. Not quite getting on the center line. And it looks like this one is going to go into the house. And it needs to sit down. And it will go out the back of the house there, and that's a slight mistake there from the lead there for Team Schultz. And so Team Germany good to ask for a draw behind here. Sweeper's still not called on, and it looks like they're happy to have this as a center line guard, but it is going to come into the house, and in fact this is going to be a lovely draw behind the guard, just going to slip to the back of the tee line, but it's behind cover. So Team Schultz are going to follow that stone in and try and sit a little higher, just in the 8 foot above the tee line. And they're asking to sweep for line here. They're worried about it being tight. It looks like they do have room, but they're not quite going to have the weight. And that is a good effort there. Almost didn't quite get the 8 foot, but firmly in the 12 foot there. And it's a nice shot. So Team Germany looking for something of a biter here, maybe just very top of the house or just in front. This one needs to curl in a bit, and it is, but it's just going to slip into the house, and again it's going to be back of the tee line. So 2 good rocks, but a bit of a target here for Team Schultz to draw into and have plenty of backing. And that is what they're going to try and do. Yep, so the call is to draw into the 4 foot. And then those reds will be good backing. This one's looking a little tight for line, so the sweeper's on it. The sweepers are going to have to go hard here. And they're just going to get it by the first guard, but they will bump onto their own yellow. Well, they pushed the yellow out a little bit there, but it's not really available to be taken out because of the reds at the back of the house. Although, I just said that, they are calling for a hit here. This one is curling like crazy. It's going to go straight onto the guard to promote the guards. And the guard's just going to sail through the house. So that one really took off there and curled a lot. And now the run back is available for Schultz, but they're only going to play a gentle weight here, T-line weight, just to tap that yellow back into those reds. No need to play too much weight. Just want to promote their stone and keep their shooter around. Called on straight away again here. But off again, so the line looks close. This is looking pretty good. And they will promote that yellow. And That is a nice shot. I don't think they've got shot stone there.
Don't sweep! Don't sweep it!
So Team Drummy just going to draw again into the rather congested house area now, and they're just going to try and outcount all of those. Use the backing that's there. This is looking quite good for Lion. But it might just hit the guard here, and it is going to tap the guard and spill into the just into the 8 foot. If anything, that's playing into the hands of Team Schultz here, opening up the center line just a little bit with that nudge on the guard. And they're going to call a takeout on this red. But I wonder whether they would be able to get through to the red at the back there, which is slightly exposed. But they are calling for the takeout on this front red. I think they would be worried about the jam in the back there if they went for that red. So, but this doesn't quite have the weight or the line required, so that yellow is just going to slip out the back of the house. And that's a little unfortunate there for Team Schultz. And so attempting to draw again here. Just try to draw down to the button. Just need to make a slight adjustment from the previous shot. And the line is looking very good here. Just a little bit more weight than the previous one, and they're going to bump their red back. And just knock those back reds a little bit. But they are lying shot stone with backing. And so Team Schultz just going to try and put one on the button here. Quite a narrow port to come through. Both teams have been playing down this line a lot, so they seem to have a good feel for the ice on this line. So this one looks like it's a little tight. And I think they are going to hit their guard. Yes, they will. But they will at least knock that front red out of play. Gives them the possibility of a raise with their own stone later. It's a very crowded house at the moment with 3 reds and 4 yellows in play here. So some thinking to do here for Andrommy. So we'll wait and see what the call is here. So judging from the ice, it looks like they may be thinking about a guard here, just to protect their one that they have in the forefoot, and then prevent the raise. But in fact, it looks like they're going for the draw. Put another one in the forefoot, sneak past the yellow. And they will do that, and that is a good shot. Although I think that red is available to be hit. There's a bit of a pocket there forming for Team Schultz. They may consider the raise to on their own yellow. They've got plenty of backing. But it looks like they are thinking about takeout. Team Schultz with hammer in this end. So this is the first of the skip stones here for Team Schultz. That's a nose hit there and a double takeout there for, so that's a great shot there for Team Schultz. And so now line one with the hammer, so Andromi has some thinking to do. Red stone in the center there is starting to look a little lonely. Looks like they're thinking about a freeze just to draw down to that yellow that was just played. Make it very difficult for Schultz to score. Even if they don't get shot stone there, they would at least make it very difficult to score more than one. And that is the hammer. Oh, sorry, excuse me, this is not the hammer. This is the last stone for Andromi. Going for the freeze here. And the line's looking pretty good, just needs to have the right weight. It's close, may just clip off that yellow. No, it will squeak by, and that is a lovely draw to the button. That is an excellent shot there from Andromi, and that is going to make life very difficult for Team Schultz here with the hammer. And you must be thinking now about the raise. But a lot of stones to move around there. Play the yellow, the front yellow into the first red. That red will jam. You may knock the back red out, but don't think you'll be able to take both out. see that redstone right on the button. And so this is hammer. And not too much weight thrown here, so perhaps hoping to just tap that red back. But it looks like they will tap on their own yellow. And it will be a steal of 1 for red. That lovely draw to the button there from Andrami on her last stone. Team Schultz not able to move it, and so that will be 1 red in that end. So we're just starting the 5th end now, and it is 6-1 to Team Drummy here against Team Schultz. So a good score really needed here in this end by Team Schultz, and they are going to try and play into the house here. Team Drummy, they're well ahead, so no need for complications. Stones in the house. If they get into a hitting game, then that suits them. And that's a nice draw there from the lead player. Nicely into the 8-foot, above the tee line. And it looks like they will try to remove this from play immediately. Well, excuse me, they may be attempting a corner guard. And it looks like they are attempting a corner guard. And the skip coming out here to help this one over the hog line. And they're going to make it over there, no problem. A little bit high, but it's a nice, just above the 2. Nice corner guard. And it looks like Annan's calling for just a tap here on the existing red, just to keep all the stones in the house. Just knock that one back a few feet. Don't need too many complications at this stage. Sweeper's not touching it enough, or just called on now. This is looking like another nice shot there. And they will tap that back just into the 4-foot, and that's 2 nice shots there from the lead player. So they will look at a hit here with both those stones in the house. Don't want too many red stones accumulating. And that is thrown with plenty of weight. Needs to curl. It's a little bit wide right now. It looks like it's not going to come back. And that is going to sail by, and that is unfortunate. So now an opportunity to the center guard in play with those 2 red stones. Nicely in the house. Send already shaping up quite well for Team Drummy. Team Schultz do have that corner guard if they can have a chance to use it. They really need to get a score of 2 here to get back into this game. Just a nice center guard there, just covering those red stones. Around about the 2 position.
Top 4. Yes! Yep, yes! Yes, sir. Wait on it!
They're really struggling to get this past the guard, but they will. That's a good sweep there. And they will just come to rest. More or less a freeze there onto the top red.
Yep, yep. Yep. That's the 8. We're middle of the 12.
So the center is getting a little clogged up here, which is not suiting Team Schultz at all. They really like to have it a bit more open than this. With 2 red stones in play, well guarded. So they will try to draw here, but a bit inside the line there, so the sweeper's called on immediately.
Nice and tight here, guys. Nice and tight. Yes, sir. Nice and tight. Whoa, whoa.
They are going to run into something here. And they will just end up promoting one of those reds, so those reds are now almost frozen together. Not quite the result that they were looking for. And so Andromeda just calling for another center guard here to really clog things up, make life difficult.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. All the way. All the way.
Sweepers on this one quickly. And this one's in danger of over-curling a little bit. They really want to keep it on the center line.
Guard.
And that will actually end up as quite a nice guard there. Just a little high, but they were hoping to have it a little bit closer to the house, but it does block the way in a little bit more. So a bit of a conundrum here for Paul Schultz. Perhaps thinking about the raise on his yellow there.
Yes. Getting this. Yeah. Well done, Marie. Away. Get the scoreboard. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
So another guard called for here. This one a little wider, which suits That's going to be a nice position, really clogging up the center area and preventing a raise on that yellow close to the house. And so trying to get rid of some of the debris accumulated here on the center line of front rows, trying to open the way up. So a lot of weight thrown there. So you don't want to jam and nose hit this. And that doesn't really improve the situation for them. They jamming the first red onto the second one, really leaving things much the same as they were before. So the question arises, what do you do in this situation for Anne Trummey when sitting in such a nice position? Don't want to do much to jeopardize it. So this will be the first of the skip stones for Anne Trummey coming up here. Not with hammer in this end, of course. Hammers with Team Schultz.
That's it. Oh, it's final. That's it. You got 4 buttons. Keep it.
So the first of the skip rocks coming up here for Team Schultz, and a bit of a conundrum really, what to do here. No obvious way into the house and no clear raise available. So they are flying 2 against right now. So we'd really like to clear some space down the center for their final stone. They may be looking just try and get 1 at this point. And they may struggle to even get that in this position. And so they are going to peel the front guards, hoping for a double peel maybe. Clear up the center. Even if they make the double peel, Team Trummey will just throw another center guard and ask the question.
Webb is winning 4-1.
They may have inadvertently knocked in a 3rd red there. They have, in fact, so red now lying 3. So a very dangerous situation here developing for Team Schultz.
Oh, wow, that's weird. Look at this screen. For this game, and look at that one.
No, it's the exact same house.
Exact same house.
Yeah. This is showing that end. That one's showing that end too.
So sitting in a really good position here and drumming.
Yeah.
Want to make life as difficult as possible for the opposing skip to score.
Down on that. Off. One's good.
I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, that one is over here. That one is over here. So you want that end?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't mess with us.
That's it. That's better.
Nice smooth delivery there. Stone is on its way. Sweeper's just cleaning. On a bit harder now. And I think that is over curled a little bit. Would have liked to stay a little bit wider there and really block the way in. It's possible that they would play a race here on this yellow, and in fact that is what they're going to play, try and run this yellow back into those reds. Needs a perfect shot here. If they make it, they may be able to lie one, but those reds are quite tight together. It's going to be difficult to remove both of them. And this is Hammer, currently lying 3 against. So very important shot here. And the trouble is, if you throw enough weight to move both of those reds, your yellow may not stick around. So very difficult situation here. Sweeper's called off and on, so it must be close. And they do hit the reds well, and they move one of the reds. They don't manage to move both of them, and it will be a steal of 1. Pretty good effort there, in all honesty. A very difficult situation for Team Schultz. They concede 1, but it could have been a lot worse. But that is another steal for Team Drummy. So they're now leading 7 points to 1. And we'll be right back with the next end. And while we wait for the next end to begin, I'll give you some scoring updates from the other sheets. So on sheet A, we have Webb against Chris, and it's currently 6-1 to Webb. And on sheet C, we've got Buffington against Donaldson, and it is 4-2 to Buffington there. And on sheet D, Team Stefanik is leading 7-2 over Team Bliss. That's over on sheet D. So we're in N6 now, and again, Andromeda is just calling for stone to be delivered into the house. This one looking like it may come up a little short. No, they will sweep it into the house, into the 8-foot. Again, just trying to keep things simple at this stage, a big lead. No need to complicate things with having a lot of guards out front. And I think Team Schultz really has to call for the corner guard here, so they really need to get a big score to have any chance of coming back to this game. And they are playing the corner guard. And a skip coming out to help sweep a little bit here. Maybe a little bit light. They're going to struggle to get this over the hog line. And they will make it. And that's a good corner guard. So Anne will just ask for another stone in the house above the tee line. team seeming quite happy with this one so far. Looks like it's going to curl off the center line a little bit. Going to line up these two reds. And it's just going to be into the 12-foot. And that's two good shots there again from the lead player. Very consistent game she's having today. So it looks like a hit is called for. Shipping up similarly to the previous end. Beg your pardon, it looks like they're trying to draw behind their corner guard. That's a more sensible shot. This is looking quite good. Needs to just slow up a little bit. It's going to go deep. Is he going to hang on? Sweeping hard there, and they will sweep it just out the back. Slightly unfortunate, just a little bit heavy there. So the call is to put another one on the center line, just at the top of the house. And again, Team Schultz not getting an opportunity to really use his corner guard. This one looking a little wide. Needs to curl back quite a long way here. But this sheet does finish a lot. And it is coming back now. And they're going to try and finish it here. And that's nice controlled sweeping. It came all the way almost back to the center line. And so now the question being asked of Team Schultz what to do. And it looks like he is thinking about double takeout here. Perhaps running short on options. And they are going for a takeout. Plenty of weight behind this one. But it is curling off. And I don't think they're going to get the result they're looking for. They will bounce off the guard and just skip by those reds. So looks like Andrame will just ask for that stone to be replaced. Block up the route to the center of the house, make life difficult. This one a little narrower than the previous one. Line's looking very good. May get a slight bump off their existing reds. And they will, and that's a nice shot. So now 3 reds in the house now, and one lonely looking yellow corner guard. And so a decision to be made here for Team Schultz, and they're going to go for the takeout. A bit more ice given this time. And plenty of weight required here. And that needs to curl a lot. Maybe thrown a little bit wide through, but it is starting to come back now. And they will take one out and roll and just stay in themselves. Perhaps needed a little more weight there if they wanted to take both of those out. But one less red counter to worry about. It looks like another guard is going to be called for here. Or Skip is indicating that she thinks it's going to tap their existing red. And it looks like it will. Just tap that one a little bit further into the house and guard. Well, it will split them apart slightly. So I think a back line weight called here, just to tap that red back. Not certain how this will really benefit Team Schultz here. Sweeping for line here. Curling fast, and it does curl a lot once it starts going, and it's into the top red. And that's not quite the result that they were looking for there. So now 3 reds in the house, all separated, out counting the yellows. Another difficult situation developing. And Drummy calling for another tap on that front red, just to tap it a little bit further into the house. With the shooter staying, guarding it up. That will really block off the center of the house for Team Schultz if they succeed. And this one's looking pretty good. It may over-curl a little bit here. In fact, it is going to just over-curl, but it will tap the red back. But it is in the open. Possibility of a double takeout there. Or they may look for a freeze. And it looks like they are going for the draw down to those reds. This is looking pretty good. That's a nice draw. Just going to come to rest, and that's a lovely freeze there in the pocket. Meanwhile, over on sheet D, I can give you an update of the score. Team Bliss scored a 3 in the 6th end, so it's now 7-5 to Team Stefanik over on sheet D. So that lovely freeze there, causing a few moments of thinking time here for Andromi. And they do have a commanding lead in this game, so may be willing to give up 1 at this point. And then they would get the hammer and still be leading 7-2. So this will be the first of Andromi's stones coming up. looks like they are throwing a guard, and they're a bit worried about the hog line here. And it is very light. And it looks like it will just make it over. Very high guard down the center line. And that yellow is still open. They may consider a tap back to remove the red backing and lie potentially 2. They would have to nudge that other red. So that guard, not quite what the Team Drumming was looking for. So they will be playing some sort of tap or hit here. Again, really looking for a score of more than 1 in this end to stay in the game. Sweepers are on this one from the beginning all the way, and this is curling very rapidly, and it's going to hit the center guard. And that is not the result needed there. A very high center guard, but the sweepers were on that from the beginning. Must have been slightly inside the line. And so Drumming will just have an opportunity to replace that guard, make a better one, and make life very difficult for Team Schultz to score more than 1. In fact, excuse me, I think Team Drumming is still lying 1, beg your pardon. My eyes have been deceiving me. And so a good guard here, and very limited options for Team Schultz.
I thought actually like a really good one. And so when it played out, I was like, ooh. And then I was like, and then just like went spinning.
Good line. Plenty of line.
Sweeper's looking a bit happier with this one.
That was better than I even.
Yeah, better weight on this one. And it is going to curl just onto the center line. That's a good guard, but it looks like there's still a pathway to that yellow. So the same shot is still on that they tried just previously. They want to hit their own yellow, and they need to move some red here. They should score at least 1 if they succeed on the hit. And this is Hammer. Well, this one needs to curl. It's a little bit wide at the moment. And it looks like it does get past the guard. And that is a good shot. And that is going to be at least 1 to yellow. And it looks like it could be 2. Judging from the... And I think that was 2 yellow. We'll get confirmation of that. Meanwhile, over on sheet A, Webb is leading Chris 7-1 now, and they've played 6 ends. So looking pretty good for Team Webb on sheet A. And we'll get the 7th end underway here. And First stone there for Team Schultz is hogged, throwing a little light from the lead player there. Still waiting on confirmation of the score in the last end, but I believe it was 2 yellow. And this is going to end up as a center guard for excuse me, for Team Drumming, which is not really what they wanted. They actually called it in the house. They have the hammer now, and so center guard is not what they're looking for. And this will give a chance for Team Schultz to draw behind, create some difficulties. And the line's looking pretty good on this one. Starting to say the curl, and they will get behind the guard. And it's all about the weight, and it's looking pretty good. That is a lovely draw there. Right onto the button. Great shot. And so it looks like Anand is actually calling for a peel of their own guards, which they did not want there. But this is curling, and it may over curl, and it is going to just over curl, and they will leave their guard in play there. And so Team Schultz is going to try and draw another stone in the house into the top of the house, try and take advantage of that. Miss by Team Drumming. That was a great draw on the previous shot from the lead for Team Schultz. Sitting right on the top of the button, just above the tee line. So another draw attempt here coming in, much wider than the previous one. Needs to curl up a lot here. And it's looking a little light. Looks like it's not going to make it into the house. And a takeout called here again for Drummy. Take out the yellow this time, I believe. No, correction, they may be going for the center line guard again. And indeed they are, and this is looking like a better line. Don't want to nose it though, and that's a good peel there. Howard Griffin playing second. A good shot. And that opens things up nicely. So Team Schultz will look to replace that center guard. They're stone in the house and without the hammer now, so really looking to steal. This one seems to be a little wide.
How heavy? Where are we?
And a little heavy. Sweeper's right off this one.
Yep.
And it looks like they're going to get a little rub off their own existing stone. And they're going to, nope, they will get past, but they will bring it just to the top 12 area. Just outside the house there. But it's a good center guard, but not quite covering their stone. will try to remove this guard again. And they will. They almost make the double takeout there. But a good shot there from Howard. 2 good takeouts. Keeping things clear for his team. And they will try to replace this guard again. That's the first vice stone here. Looking for a nice center guard.
Look here, right here.
This one possibly a little, no, it's looking quite nice from here. A little heavy perhaps. And it's just gonna sneak into the house, but a very good line that's right, entirely covering their shot stone in the house. That's a great shot there from the vice. And they will look for a takeout again. This one's looking a little wide at the moment. Looks like they're going to run into... No, they will sneak by, and they will take out the stone in the house. Or will it hang around? It will hang around, but I don't think that was the intended shot there for Team Yellow, but a good result there. Excuse me, Team Red. An excellent result, but not what they were intending. I think they were trying to take out the top Yellow. But an excellent plan B there. So that Yellow is still hanging around in the back of the house. And it is still shot stone, but it's wide open. The Yellow at the front of the house doesn't look like it's in counting. It's hard to say. Well, it is now. Just been bumped in. But that Yellow is open to be taken out in the house. And that is the call. And that was thrown with plenty of weight there. But that looks to be curling offline very quickly. And that is going to be on the top Yellow guard. It does clear things up a little bit. The red will stick around, but it's not counting. It's not in the house. So you can see now the Yellow line 2. And they will seek to guard up their stone closest to the button. Trying to get back into this game after a slow start. In the meantime, I can tell you that on sheet C, it is now 6-3 to Buffington against Donaldson. And on sheet D, it is 9-5 Stefanik versus Bliss. And on sheet A, it is 7-1 Webb versus Chris. And now here comes the attempted guard here. And that's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's a nice guard. Covers their shot stone. So a bit of a decision to make here for Andromi, just having a little think here. It looks like they might be looking for a freeze or a tap back here. Just maybe to move that Yellow off the 4-foot and stick around. So a nice controlled shot required here. And the sweeper's not touching us at all so far. Needs to curl. And they will catch a piece of that yellow, and that's a nice shot. And they will move it into the 8-foot, and I think the red stone hangs around just enough to be shot stone, and it's a good shot. Of course, Drummy with the hammer in this end, so currently lying 1. That red is open. But those yellows moved off the 4-foot nicely. So it looks like call is going to be to take out that red. I mean, they have to. It's a shot stone, and it is open. This is their last stone in this end, so got to, at a minimum, hit that stone out of play. There are 2 other yellows in the house already. Sweepers on this one quickly. It has been curling a lot this way. And they are already on their own yellow. They may be looking for plan B here, which is a raise. No. And they will spill into the back of the house there. So not a good result. And so red is lying 1 with the hammer. And a draw is available. Just need to do a little better than full 8-foot for their second point. And with the scoreboard the way it is, we could see some handshakes here at the end of this end. So here we have the hammer for Andromy. This is looking very wide at the moment. They may get a tap off their own red there. No, they don't. I'm not sure that was the intended result at all there. But it will be 1 red, and that looks like it's the game. Yeah, we do have handshakes, and that is game over. So a win for Team Drummy there over Team Schultz. Final score is 8 points to 3 after 7 ends. And I can tell you that on sheet A, the game between Webb and Chris is finished. Victory for Webb there. And sheets C and D are still in play. The latest scores I have for you there are on sheet D. It is still 9-5, stiffening against Bliss, and they're playing the 8th. On sheet C, I believe it is still 6-3 to Buffington against Donaldson, playing the 7th. Well, thank you very much for watching our live cast of the Cherry Blossom Bonspiel. I think we're going to sign off now after the conclusion of this feature game. Thank you very much for joining us, and please come back tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.